I'm just going to close on this one here, just to make the point. We've got the spatial constraints. You know, we're living on the planet as though we got another one to go to, and we don't. We've got the temporal issues where we've got to act pretty quickly. We've got the carbon issue about what can we do inside of that. And in here then, the point is, and this is actually, we do this kind of toward the end of some of the strategy courses. And I want to just tell you too, the difference between the MBA, I taught at MBA level, and undergrad. These guys are in the undergrad. Undergrads are a lot more, I think, idealistic, but pragmatically idealistic, which is great. MBAs tend to be more cynical, I found, about they're entrenched in the system, especially part-time MBAs. They're entrenched, it's not the way it is, it won't change sort of thing. So I'm trying to put more energy into the not so cynical and try to get them to skip that cynical stage altogether and help us solve our problems. But one of the questions I put to them is, where are you? And where does it start? Is it government's job? Is it business's job? Is it civil society, community's job? Who does it? The answer, of course, is everybody, but the tricky part is, where does it start? And the other thing we talk about is where are you in this picture? And the answer probably to that one is you're in the middle right there, because you're part of the business system, you vote, and you can run for office, and some of you here hold office, and we're here as a civil society group, right? And so Mike and his team have done a great job showing leadership on this. When we say who leads here, it's in this case, I think civil society is leading. What I see though at this event is that a lot of people are jumping on board, and I think that's a great thing. The key to this picture here too is learning our way out. We need to, the last three things here, I think this Sustainable Waterloo Carbon Initiative is critical for three reasons. Number one is it can actually help us implement one of those wedges, right? And especially on the reduce 25% on our businesses and homes. Number two, I think it actually helps us work on our chops a little bit as far as collaborating. Intersectoral collaboration is not an easy thing, and we've got that in this room here. And so if we can get good at this and replicate this onto other things, then we can do things beyond carbon mitigation, which I know that Sustainable Waterloo has plans in that direction as well. Third thing is it brings us into sustainability conversations. And so once you get talking about things, you talk about more things, and it snowballs. And I think the more we can kind of make this as kind of foreground and central to our conversations, then we can knock all those other ones off pretty easy. Okay, so I just want to close by saying congratulations to all of you for being part of this. Glad that you're here, and we have a lot of work to do. So let's get busy. Thanks.
Yeah, and Barry, we just want to thank you. You've been a supporter and a mentor, as we've heard here right from the start, and we thank you for the expertise that you brought through your presentation. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. I just have to, last thing, where's Lisa? They didn't have a clock up here for me, Lisa, so I don't know if I'm sure I'm over time, but I'm sorry.
So, continuing with the story of Sustainable Waterloo, as we gained support and learned that this region actually, in fact, might possibly be interested in making this happen, we decided that we needed to get your input. And so what we did was developed a framework that was achievable and representative of the interests of the organizations in our region. So we brought together 22 individuals from these organizations. We had DALSA, Christie Digital, Google, OpenText, the Region of Waterloo, the University of Waterloo, Wilfrid Laurier University, the Waterloo Region Green Solutions, which is called REAP, and the David Suzuki Foundation. So now I would like to welcome one of the external working group members to the stage to introduce our next speaker. Derek Satnick manages the green team at Mindscape Innovations and is the outgoing president of Community Renewable Energy Waterloo, while also serving on Sustainable Waterloo's advisory board. Derek, please join us at the stage.
It's a joy and a privilege for me to actually be here and to be able to be in the middle of what we're calling Sustainable Waterloo and see this as the culmination of so many Waterloo things that have been happening in so many different places around here. Most of us are from town. How many of you are local? Hands up. Just most of you are going to be local. How many of you are from out of town? A handful. I mean, it's interesting. Always, we have these events. We have a neat nucleus of people in this region. So my role today, I'm on the board at Community Renewable Energy Waterloo. I'm the NGO hat in the room when we were talking about external working group stuff. Through them, I am involved with the Ontario Sustainable Energy Association. And from the Ontario level and their partner, the Canadian Renewable Energy Alliance, we're looking for tools like this all around Canada. We're looking for different regions. We're looking for different opportunities to share lessons and learning. And we're looking for ways to make this intensely real and intensely practical, because we've all heard an awful lot of increasingly compelling talks about how important these issues are and are increasingly becoming more important. And maybe even for reference, a couple of folks in the room, we were at the Canada Green Building Council meeting last week, and I found it really intriguing to see how many of these talks are talking more about how we can salvage the world instead of how we can change ourselves. It's, yeah, doom and gloom stuff, but it's amazing to me to look around Canada and see how many people are watching, believe it or not, Waterloo, and looking for this region to come up with good ideas that work so we can share them. So kudos to the guys at Sustainable Waterloo. And one of the people that we're going to hear from next, Paul Rack, is here from VeriForm. He's got 30 years in metal experience. And it's just a real good local story, a local example of someone who gets it, someone who understands that, yes, the environment is very important, but yes, business is important too, and we can't really do one well without thinking about the other. So Paul's here with a real-life story from a company that he runs called VeriForm that has 50% emissions reductions despite doubling its size. He's thought this stuff through, and he's got a good story to tell you. So Community Renewable Energy Waterloo is thrilled that we have local heroes that we can talk about. And, I mean, it's the humble hero kind of thing. He's doing this because it works for his business. It's responsible, it's smart, and he's going to tell you his story, so I'll stop trying to steal his thunder here. But Paul, would you please come and tell us about what you've done?
To move the slides here, I just do it on the here. Okay, good. Hi, my name is Paul Rack, and I do own VeriForm. We're a manufacturing company in Cambridge. This is a picture of myself and John Grothier, the president of Cambridge Hydro, and we received an award this March. We won the Chamber of Commerce Environment Award. We didn't expect to win it because we were up against the city of Cambridge. They had the gold lead. If somebody in the back can't hear me, please, during the time, just put your hand up. My name is, the city of Cambridge has the first gold lead city hall, certified city hall in Canada. So we thought for sure we wouldn't win, and so it was a tremendous honor to win with that sort of a leader in that group. In the next, I can't see that, it's hard to see, but it says the next 15 minutes, I'll be talking about the projects that we put into place. In the last 2 years, we put in 37 green projects. We didn't do this intentionally to make money. We thought it was the right thing to do. I saw the Al Gore movie about 2 or 3 years ago. I thought, you know what, let's try some small stuff at VeriForm and see what happens. Totally did not expect to make any profit out of it. And this image of money. You're going to see this about 4 or 5 times in the next 15 minutes. What I want to do is reinforce to you that going green is profitable. And if you have any skepticism about it, maybe you'll join me in having a different opinion in the next 15 minutes. Well, it's hard to see these colors. First of all, there's 3 things here I want to point out. We didn't do anything that was high-tech. Everything we did was something that could be done and reproduced at any other facility. We didn't do wind, we didn't do solar, we didn't do geothermal at all. And the building that we did this in was built in 1982. There's nothing fancy about our building. We don't have any solar panels. We don't have any special insulation in the walls. In fact, the building, the office had no insulation in the baseboards. It was just a piece of plywood and aluminum. And we put in R5 at least. That's our building. The area that's light blue, that was built in 1982. The area that's dark blue on the left, that was built just 2 years ago. Basically, we're a manufacturer. We take steel, we cut it on huge laser and plasma tables, we bend it on our 5 bending machines. Then we weld the parts up. In fact, this picture here, all the parts in this picture were all flat pieces of steel. We cut them, we formed them on our press brakes. There's no structural components in here at all. It's all flat to begin with. This is a mining cab that we do. We do it from beginning to end, even putting in the electronics. They call this a plug-and-play cab. When the manufacturer that we send it to gets it, they literally bolt down 6 bolts and the electrical harnesses go in. That's a plug-and-play cab.